Has everybody had a very interesting 2 previous days? Can I have some hands up for those who enjoyed it? Oh, lovely. Pranav, you were not there. That, even though I'm forcing you to put your hands up, I'm just trying to get you some morning exercises. Thank you all for coming. Today is the last day and the grand finale day. Let me remind you that in the evening we have a wonderful function, the Grand Gala Night, which will start at 7:30, so kindly all be there in time. So let me kick off today morning's presentations. We have Steve D'Souza in the first part, and then Kaizen seminars led by Pranav and his team. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Steve D'Souza. I had the pleasure of meeting Steve maybe 15 years back. He was working with Technova, and we used to interact a lot, and then we happened to get to know him when he was in Muscat in the Middle East, and we've been in touch on and off. And when I last spoke to him a couple of months back before the Prince Summit, he told me about his fantastic achievements. And when I told him that I'd love to hear him, I'd love to have him in Bombay to share his experience, you know what he told me? He said it would be a privilege and an honor, and I'd really consider it my kind of something I'd like to share back with all my friends in Bombay. So Steve has seen and worked with a lot of printers, so he knows a lot of friends over here. Just to tell you, it was his idea to call it to dream, to dare to dream, and follow that dream. To dream the impossible dream is the topic of his talk. He was quite nervous about talking today, but he said, I have to do it. And let me tell you about him. He comes from an extremely humble background. His father was a taxi driver, and he started his career from a very, as a sales manager at Technova. He spent 12 years with Technova, finally leaving Technova as the head of the digital division. And then he got a little ambitious and he said, let's go to Muscat. And he went and joined a company there as a sales and marketing head. In 5 years' time, he left the company as the CEO. That was amazing. What was more amazing was that he left that job, came to India, sold his house, and went to New Zealand. I'd like to ask him why he went to New Zealand, but he said, I'd never been to New Zealand. I don't know what was in New Zealand. I didn't have a job in New Zealand, but I went to New Zealand he had his papers and everything, and he went to New Zealand. I might mention that behind every successful man, there's a woman. And Odilia, his beautiful wife, who's sitting behind on the second row, has helped him through his career. And she's been with him, she's been working with him, and Steve agrees with me that she's actually the boss. So Steve, you better be careful. When Steve went to New Zealand, he said he didn't have a job, so what did he do? He found a job which would sell door-to-door charity. So he went, I don't know how many people know about these people coming knocking on your door. He said, listen, I got this charity to sell, and then what happens? They bang the door on your face. So out of every 150 people he met, he maybe only have got 5 successes. So you can imagine the frustration that he had to go through. So that was short-lived. He claims he got bitten by a dog. He got hit by a man in that short span of time. And then he got a job in a printing company called Kalamazoo, where he joined as a sales executive. From there, it didn't take long before he became the sales manager. And another little time passed and he became the general manager. And then when I wrote him one day, he said, you know what? This company now belongs to me. I said, it's unheard of, it's unbelievable. I mean, that's the story you hear only in novels, you know. And I said, you have to talk about this in our presentation. And he said, I have to come here. So I said, no, you have to be here. He said, I want to come here. So I don't know who was more excited about it, he or me. You know, I was convincing a lot of people to come to Prince Summit. I phoned up a lot of people to come to Prince Summit, and they said, yeah, but you know, I have this, I have that. But Steve said to me, no, I want to be there. I'm going to be there. So I said, that's fantastic. Yeah. And then, in this short span of 4 or 5 years, he owned the company, and now he's expanding, and I think we have a fantastic success story to talk about, and I'm not going to, although taking a long way, a lot of the story, but I'm going to give you the mic to Steve, and please give him a big hand.
Thanks, buddy. Maybe you're in the back? Namaskar. I think it's, I'm not a born public speaker, and I was very nervous speaking in public long parts of my life. But I'm going to tell you in the next 23 minutes is my 23 years of history. I think before I do that, there's something very important for me to share with you. The most important thing that I want to share is I am here humbled because of all of you. I am one of your products. I come from a humble background, and I'm born in a humble family, and what I am is a byproduct of what you all have made me. Along the way, I've had my lovely wife there. I love you, honey. And she has been me like a rock. But there is one person that I want to talk to you about and tell you, every successful man has got a guru. And I also have my guru. I met him on 16th of May, 1982, when I was a 17-year-old boy. And I was perhaps taken aback by his great times. What he told me was a few simple words. All the best, and hope you stay here for long. These were his words. He must have forgotten it. And the reason I wanted to come here was to thank him and praise him for what he has made me. And I think this was the biggest opportunity, and I knew he would be here. So before I start, I would like you to introduce you to my guru, whom I've adored for the last 22 years. I very lovingly call him Pranav. What he has made me. Come on. Oh, I love you. And this is my dream. Stand with it.
As they say, the best gift anyone can get is to be called a guru, and then become a guru. The success you had, I have to become your chela now.
Thank you. So I'll start my story, and I think it's nothing extraordinary. I mean, everyone has a story. My story is extraordinary because I'm not an extraordinary person. And the reason I've been perhaps successful is because I'm blessed. I'm a very blessed man. I believe in my faith, and I'm blessed. And I'm going to share with you in a very short format. And I put something together, and I put it in the last half an hour because I didn't want to make a slide at all. And one of my old friends, whom I lovingly call Mahesh, told me to make something so that people can see. So that's, when it helps. Thanks, Mahesh. Where are you? Yeah. Dare to dream. That's me with little hair left. My journey in brief is this what it is. I joined Technova on 16th of May 1982. And in that time, these were the 4 things which I had to go through. Challenge, change, learning curve, exposed to various markets and a dynamic situation. Challenge to change. When I was a 17-year-old boy, I still remember my first demonstration of a pre-sensitized plates was at Pumas. It's very amazing, you know. I was very nervous. I mean, believe me, I made the best plate because it didn't work. And the reason it didn't work is I didn't develop it properly. And I still remember, as it is yesterday, Barjot Punawara, he knocked me on my head and taught me how to develop a PS plate. And I tell you very confidently that even today, I think I'm one of the best developers for PS plate in the world. I haven't forgotten to develop a PS plate. And that was something which I wanted to say is that, you know, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I keep making them, but I learn from them. So it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them. And I have made a lot and learn from them. In Technova, for 14 years, I moved into a lot of places. I mean, I moved from Madhya Pradesh to Calcutta, to Gujarat, to Delhi, to Madras. I moved in so many places. And that's where, what I would say, I did my business school. I think I'm a management graduate from NMIMS, but the main major management is from my humble company beginning, which is Technova. And that's what I learned in Technova, is that it's okay to make mistakes, you move on. So I must have spoiled a lot of plates and had a lot of deep test demonstrations and wide form demonstrations and messed it up so many times, but I learned from them and I kept moving on. In Technova, I started as a junior technical sales executive. I still remember the date, 16th May 1982. And that's remembered because I met Pranabhai on the day, and that's very important to me. And as I moved on, I left Technova on 29th of December 1995. The reason for my move was not because I didn't want to work in Technova. I had very big ambitions. The reason for my move was my family. I used to travel 15-20 days a month, and I have young children at home. My wife did ask me that, you know, she wants me to move on. She wants me to get out of this 23 days rut and spend time with her. So it was her wish which I fulfilled. Otherwise I would never have left. But that was history. I joined a company called WJ Towers. This company is a company which is close to $1 billion in the Middle East, having all kinds of businesses from printing to FMCG products to paints to juices, everything. And what I did there was I joined them as a sales and marketing manager. And the only thing that I did was that I did a new look into the print business of Mazoon Printing Press. I had hands-on practice experience which I learned in my 14 years of Technova. I just implemented what I learned. And with no actual hard efforts, this place, I recorded the highest ever profit in the history of the group for 5 continuous years. The profit was so huge that they gave me a lot of money. And I went back with my pocket full. And again, I decided to move on to New Zealand. And that was just the inner feeling, no reason why and why not. It was to spend time with the family and see them grow in a place where there is a future. You know, in the Middle East, you're always an employee or just a work permit card holder. You can't really live there, you can't educate your kids beyond certain levels. So I moved on in 2001. I moved on to this company. I think that's Pranabhai trying to pull me up. My journey in brief was 2001. And that was what it is. This is where I'm going to spend a little more time with you, share with you. These were the challenges that I had. It was a new culture. I absolutely had no friends, no well-wishers, no guidance, but one big dream. That was my dream. The Kalamazoo turnover when I joined them was, in 2001, was about 15 crores. I converted it for convenience. My milestone was, I started as a rep and in 3 years moved up to various positions. I became a managing director. My present turnover in Indian rupees is about 110 crores. It's not big, because big is the state of mind. I think it's very small. And this is just the beginning of what I think is going to happen. It is small because that's what I feel, it's small. I still feel I'm humble. How it happened is what I want to share with you. I love the company so much I bought it. And I didn't buy it because I had a lot of money. I bought it because I was the only option for the company to survive. And so the owners decided to move out. And I moved in. Because the person who wanted to have an exit plan, I offered that exit plan to him. And without having a lot of money, I didn't have money. It was 15 crores was a very small business to buy in New Zealand. But he had an exit plan, I gave it to him. And the business paid for itself. I had not put any money from my wallets to buy the business. The business paid for itself. And 15 crores to 110 crores in 3.5 years is amazing. Amazing in any country. And what I did was simple practice what I learned over the last 15 years. So I have got something which I want to show you. And I'm sure you also have, all of you have it. I've got a tree. And I've got this tree which I have with me. I want to show you what tree it is. Can you tell me what tree this is? Good. So I have this money tree. Therefore, whenever I need some money, I go to my tree and I clip it. And I take the money. I'm sure all of you also have this money tree. And believe me, if you don't have this money tree, you will not be sitting here. But you don't know perhaps what that money tree is. I'll tell you what my money tree is because I have about 10,000 of them. Any guesses here what that money tree is?
Customer.
Absolutely right. That's my money tree. I have 10,000 happy customers. And what I do is very simple. I've always believed in a fantastic customer relationship. I still have my customers who love me from the time of 1982 to date. Whether it was a large company like Times of India, it's the same, or Comart, or Freddy. These are all my customers. They're not somebody I've met. I met them through selling trade chemicals. Same way my customers in the Middle East. These are my people. These are the money trees I have. Every year I put about 100 to 200 new money trees in my plants, in my garden. And what I do is very simple. What I do is I look after them. And I get a lot of gardeners who think like me to look after them. Each of my money tree doubles my money every year. And that's what it is. I don't clip, I just harvest them, I put some fertilizers, and I put all those kinds of stuff into the tree, and they just give me money. The reason I've grown so much is my money trees have helped me to buy 3 other huge banyan trees, because there are 3 other companies which I have bought over in the last 2 years. And that has helped me to increase my volume of business. It is not something rocket science. All of us know that. Everyone knows the customer is the best place to be, and customer is the one you have to look after. I look after my customers because I love doing it. So I love doing it, I find it very easy. I don't find it hard at all. It's the most easiest thing for us to do, is to look after our customers. A little difference to my business is, though my core business is printing, I never present myself as a printer. I also print is my key line, though it is my core business. And I've learned that with experience that I also print. Along the way, what's really important to understand is why do you do your printing job? And if you looked upon as a printer, then there are 400 printers in New Zealand. So what's the point of difference? The point of difference is I am not a printer. I also print. So along with printing, the company that I run now with my wife is very simple. What we do is, we do everything related to print. 10,000 customers is the money we do. So every customer wants to distribute. I have a full logistic department which pin, packs, delivers and stores. So I do the logistics. I do the mailing. I do data merging for mailouts. So companies like a telecommunication company, they don't print their laser forms to me. They give me their 10,000 or 200,000 customer base, which I use to market them. So every day, every month when a customer receives a telephone bill, he receives it from me. So I have a wide database. My database is not 10,000 customers. My database is 4 million residents of New Zealand. And that's my customer base. I don't look at as this customer buys print or that customer. Every single resident in New Zealand is my customer. And that's why I would say that India, which is so much bigger, India, according to what I have, little reports I have, is worth about $12 billion in the printing industry. New Zealand is only 1 billion. So 1 billion, if you take by 4 million people, $250 is what each person is worth as a customer for me in New Zealand. In India, each customer is worth only $12. So you've got a potential of 2,000, 3,000%. And I think, from my experience, India is the place to be for the next 5-7 years. And I'm sure within the next 7-8 years, we will beat China in both ways, in population and in business. And I think that's the potential for you. You can change a $10 per person equation in India to $250. So that's the goal you can look at. And you can look at it in the next 7 to 10 years. If you believe that that's your money tree. Every single customer is your money tree. And that's what I would like to share with you, is that your customer is your money tree. Spend time with them. I always talk about dreams. I've been a dreamer since I was a child. And I'll give you a small example of what I'm trying to say here. We all know cricket, I love to play cricket, and everyone in India knows cricket. A bat, cricket bat. Cricket bat cost about 200 rupees to manufacture. You just do a little bit of polishing on that and you send it to the stores, you sell it for 1,000 rupees. And you and me will buy only for 1,000 rupees, so that's what you think it's worth. That's the difference between dreaming and not dreaming. Okay? Well, the same bat, which is worth 1,000 rupees, please give it in the hands of Sachin Tendulkar. Now you tell me what the worth of that bat. It's millions, it's priceless. Okay? Why is that priceless for him? But when he was a 4-year-old child, that bat was his dream. So that's what I like to share with you, sir. Don't look at the intrinsic value of your dream. Because your dreams in my hands is worthless. My dreams in your hands is worthless too. Don't give your dream to your wife or your son. It won't work. Your dream has to be in your own hands. So I'll share with you very quickly what is my dream now and why I'm doing that. My dream is, this is my dream. And I had this dream as a young child, being hungry and running to school to save 1 rupee bus money so I could buy vada pav and eat it. And today, while my company is about 110 crores, I have about 30,000 children who I have adopted to look after. Because I want them to be 30,000 Steve D'Souza, make a difference to the world. And this is the reason why I chose Bangladesh is because I was transferred when I was in Techno to Bangladesh. And I've spent time with the Rishi children, the poor Hindu children who don't have food to eat, who don't have any support from anyone. So I tied up with a company called Tear Fund. And I said, I want to go there and change the lives of these children. So they're helping me. 30,000 is not the dream that I have. My dream is to build those 30,000 to 100,000 children. And I'm going to do it. I've got absolutely no doubt in my mind that I'm going to do this. I'm going to make sure that in the next 3 to 5 years, that number is 100,000. And when I come back on the 55th Jubilee, I'll tell you I've done it. I've got no doubts in my mind. How I'm going to do it is very simple. You can do it too. The reason I'm going to do it is because to achieve this, it's my dream and it's in my hands. I have put it very short and I know it's 23 minutes. I hope I'm not running over time. Is there anybody who wants to ask me any questions before I say salam, namaste, thank you?
No questions? No one wants to know how to make those millions? I want to know, Steve. Tell me about it later. I don't want that. I don't want to share it with you, with everybody. Thank you very much, Steve.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When are you coming back to India?
I'll go back.
His heart is here, but his money is there.
So
how are you going to go about this? Can you share with us?
Okay. What I want to do is basically to achieve my dream of making it to 100,000 children. I need to make my company about 350 to 400 crores in terms of volume. Because unfortunately, unless you can make enough revenue, you can't do what you have to do. You need money for that. And I have plans in place for the next 3 years how I'm going to get this business. That's my plan. These are the people who share my dream with me, my 10,000 customers. They all know what the vision is. And they support me. And what I feel is in a country which has got such potential of spending almost $1 billion in print, you only do things differently. I haven't changed the whole equation in the business by just working hard. I've changed it because I think I'm offering my customers a different point of view. As I said, combination of factors, giving them a different point of view, and the most important factor is that I'm very blessed. And I think if you are very blessed, whatever you do ends up to be successful, because the cause is very simple. And yesterday I spent time with Fahim, and he shared something very interesting with me. He shared with me a LED theory, LED. LED, L-E-D. L for learning, never stop learning. E, am I right? E is for earning, never stop earning. And D is for distributing, and never stop distributing too. So it's very good. That's how I'm going to do it. I've done it in the past, I've always done it.
Hemant, sorry.
Steve, obviously you and your whole thinking is there, and you've articulated very well. What about your employees and your colleagues? Do they share the same dream in terms of the social commitment and giving back to society, and have you communicated this effectively to people who you work with?
Yes, I have a quarterly newsletter of my company. It goes to all my customers. In that, we give them an update of what's happening with the fund. And as I said, I am just a fraction of the people I know and meet and work. Definitely, success is just not me. It's the 100 people who work with me. So I think they also have. Everyone in New Zealand is one of the perhaps most giving countries in the world. If you look at the analysis of people who spend money for charity and do for the have-nots, it is New Zealand. And New Zealand has got no poverty at all. No one sleeps hungry, because the government system is such that you get food to eat. My colleagues and those who work with me, they work with me because I was one of them for 3 years ago. So philosophy is something which I have, if they do not agree, it's a problem, because it's their money too. It could be their bonus which is going away. It could be a part of their increments which is going away. But another thing is very important for all of us to understand is my company in New Zealand is the highest paid company in the printing industry. My employees cannot get a better pay anywhere else, because I am on top of the range. I attract the best possible people, because there's no one else who can pay as much as I pay. And I pay because, I tell you, I make a lot of profits. I make huge profits. My profits are enough for me to buy another company. So I make huge profits. I got the best people working with me, and I got the best customers with me. So it's not been very difficult at all. The most difficult place I found to sell was in Bombay. And I sold in Bombay too.
I think Hemant has a question.
Steve, how much has the environment and the policies of the government in New Zealand has helped you to reach this dream?
See, when I went to New Zealand, I had no one to look at. Okay? And as an Indian, I did face problems, because when an Indian comes in, they'll tell you either you're a taxi driver or you spill petrol in the petrol pump. Unfortunately, all Indians there, at least 80% of Indians coming there, managers in the bank and all, they end up either in the petrol pump or start driving taxis. So when I went to India, that's what I was looked upon as either a petrol pump guy or a taxi driver. Right? Once you get into the system of working in New Zealand, there's no red tapeism. There is a racism act and stuff behind the scene, but it's not so evident. If you work, if you perform, it's all over.
Tell us about the payment situation.
Oh, payment. I mean, my company is fairly huge by Indian standards, and I'm on the top 10, 20 companies in New Zealand as it stands now. My account receivable is less than 40 days. It's less than 40 days because I get paid.
But tell me, the government, you mentioned to me that the government enforces that.
Yeah, what happens is we have something called DACOM. It's a private body which looks after the finances situations in the market. If someone doesn't pay me, and if I have documents proving that he's not paid me, I can make a call to this DACOM, and they will blacklist him. If he goes anywhere, to any bank, for any credits, he will not get it. So, if you don't pay the money and someone proves that you haven't paid, you're blacklisted.
One more. How would you correlate this to the Indian conditions? What do you think, how successful would your dream be if you would have been in India?
Indian conditions is no different. I mean, let's face fact. In Technova, I joined as a junior trainee sales executive. I left as a very senior manager in the digital imaging division. And I don't know what I would have been if I was there today, but I think the dream is pursued anyway. I mean, it's not necessarily whether the big change is a good player can play anyway. It could have been a bit more. A bit more immediate. We find there are 500,000 streams distributors in India. I have much more competition. There's only one in New Zealand. So that's the difference now. It's been more difficult here than there. Definitely.
So you guys, New Zealand's the place to do printing.
Yeah, you come to New Zealand, I'll come to India.
Okay, one last question. Like you said, you have a lot of employees who are working along with you. You being the owner and the MD, how much do you believe in taking a conscious decision or taking your decision?
I think conscious decision is very important. My decision has to be a conscious decision. How can I make a decision if my conscience does not permit me to? My employees, as I say, my employees are part of an organization. If I make huge profits that year, they get a part of it. So they are shareholders in my company because if I don't make profit, they will not get anything. And they know that. Everyone tries to save $1 when he gets a few cents of it every time. And it's a different culture that I'm trying to create. It's unheard of in New Zealand. I've got 100 shareholders in my company. So I have 100 employees. And it will be 500 employees in 4 years' time. So there will be 500 shareholders. I will share it with them. The distribute theory is very important. You distribute, you get more. The more I give, the more I get. So I like this system. So I keep going on.
If I can tell my story and inspire even one person in this room to become to do that achievement, he think he's done his job over here on the stage today. But I think I can see a lot of inspired faces here. And I'm sure you'll all have some probably questions to ask him during lunch. And you can see he's a very approachable person. No airs, no accent, no nothing. And that's what I really like about him. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you.
May I ask Pranav Bhai to just present a token of appreciation to Steve? From the Guru to the people. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Pranav.